Hey everyone. So I'm pretty sure we've gone live. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So again, I just want to apologize for my lolly in my mouth. It helps me get through this whole saliva stuff that's happening while being pregnant. But we wanted to do, as you know, that as a team, we have been doing some daily tips to help us get ourselves in the right place for our next incentive that starts May 1st, which is called Launch to Leadership. And we know from previous experience that the best way to be prepared for something like that is to have a plan in place and to pretty much have that momentum going into the incentive so that we can hit the ground running come May 1st and not be behind. And so this is what this training is all about tonight. It's a bit about why you want to be prepared and understanding patterns in our business, which will in turn help you to not only reach your goals, but to help you grow your business. That's it.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about the analogy of an orchard. So in an orchard, obviously there are fruit trees, and a year or so ago we had Fast and Fabulous February, and Chuck Thompson came and gave a great training on this. He covered a whole heap of things with regards to an orchard or fruit trees and that kind of thing. So we just wanted to cover off a couple of the things that he talked about. He talked about how on a fruit tree there are different levels of fruit. So when you walk up to a tree, there's the low-hanging fruit, which you can reach from the ground.
You forgot the ones on the ground. Is that what the low-hanging is?
No, so there's ones on the ground too, but they're generally not that good.
They're spoiled.
Spoiled and not really worth anything. So
but you'll come across that in your Scentsy business too.
Right. They're the whingers.
They're the ones that no matter what you give them or how awesome your service is,
they can't find any scents that they like.
But they are still a part of our business, and it's a part of it. And you know, while they're there, you need to make the most of it, because you just don't know. Eventually they might grow into something more, might grow into their own tree down the track.
Sure. So don't worry about that too much. But then there are two other key kind of elements of the fruit and their positioning on the tree that we're going to talk about. So the first one is the low-hanging fruit. And the low-hanging fruit represents our family and friends. A lot of the time when we started out in our Scentsy business, we thought, wouldn't it be great if our family and friends bought stuff off us all the time?
We have a really large family too, between the both of us. We have a big extended
family.
But we had no low-hanging fruit.
There wasn't much. We had a lot of friends, which was good.
Yeah.
Which was good.
We had to ask them.
So the low-hanging fruit is the bonus stuff. Is the stuff that you don't have to do a whole lot of work for in a lot of cases, hopefully.
They're just going to support you regardless.
They're going to support you. They're going to purchase things off you when you desperately need to bump your sales up or whatever it is. They're the easy kind of sales to get that don't require too much foundational work. So they're kind of like a bonus. The other section is the high-hanging fruit. So they're the ones that you're going to need to get the ladder out, and you're going to need to get off the ground, and you're going to need to feel a little bit uncomfortable as you climb the ladder to access the rest of the fruit on the tree. So the low-hanging fruit probably accounts for 10% of what's on the whole tree, and the 90% of it is the rest of the fruit that's going to require some work.
Because you physically can't reach things without getting a ladder, like a fruit tree. Like you physically can't reach those fruits without a ladder.
Thanks, my love.
You're welcome.
It was great. So basically, if you want to run a business and you want to be serious, you're going to need to get your ladder out.
You need those high.
You need the high-hanging fruit. You can't just rely on the 10% on the family and friends and low-hanging stuff that will trickle in too, basically. It's not guaranteed all the time. It's when you desperately need it, you can call in favors and that kind of thing. But it's not going to be your consistent business area.
They're not going to order, the same amount of wax and warmers off you every month. It's just not a reality. So basically, low-hanging fruits, if you're a hobbyist, that's your business, is your low-hanging fruits. The really easy ones, the ones that you're not even going to consider taking a ladder out and trying to work for. So that's a hobbyist. And then your high-hanging fruits. If you're serious about growing a business, you have to get that ladder out. Do you want to talk about the ladder?
Yep. What about the ladder? Comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So the ladder is going to be every step you take on the ladder. Anyone that's climbed a ladder, especially if no one's holding it, will realise that it gets scarier every rung you go up. It's a little bit like stepping out of our comfort zone. But to access the full potential of the tree and all of the available fruit, you're going to need to climb as high as you can on the ladder and get as far out of your comfort zone as you can. And after a while, after you've done it a few trees in a row or a few times in a row, it's not going to be as scary and it's not going to be as hard, and you're going to become very comfortable at the top of the ladder.
So some really basic ideas of what could be things that, to help you get those high-hanging fruits that we struggle as consultants can be follow-up calls. That can be really outside of our comfort zones, and many times many people don't even want to give those a go. Even just asking face-to-face if someone wants to have a party. Maybe have, when you go to your party, you're too scared to do a booking game. So there's quite a few things. Even doing the party itself
anything that
can
you
be
don't
outside
want
of
to
your
do,
comfort zone.
basically.
Yeah, something doesn't come naturally to you.
Anything else on that?
No.
Okay, the second thing that we want to talk about is where we live on the Gold Coast. You can drive like half an hour south.
I think it's a bit more than that.
Everything's half an hour from here. Down south in northern New South Wales, right? We sometimes go to Byron for fun, Byron Bay. And on the way there, we pass a lot of sugarcane fields. And you might have had a similar experience driving through the countryside or where you live. There might be fields of crops or something similar. But one thing that we've noticed is that there's always different fields at different levels of growth. So there'll be some fields which are empty. There'll be some where the crops are like a foot high. There'll be some where they're 2 feet high. Some where they're like...
Just been planted. Which is empty.
I was working up.
Oh, sorry.
Some where they're ready to be harvested, and some with the harvester going through them. And what we can learn from that is that it's important to have trees or crops at different stages in terms of preparing them for cultivation and harvesting. So as your customer base broadens, your customers are going to be at different levels and at different stages of life and at different stages of being prepared to purchase from you. And even potential recruits are in the same kind of thing as well. You might be working with people for an extended period of time, but it's important to have different people at different stages so that at all seasons and at all times, there is somebody ready to do business with you.
So how can this be likened to our Scentsy business? Well, as Andrew explained, we have to have different levels of our harvest or our growth in our plant. And so it's not a very, for example, let's say that I just worked and got everyone excited around Christmas time. So I pick all my fruit at Christmas time, and I only ever work the Christmas time period. For the rest of the year, I would have nothing because I haven't sown the seeds.
Sure.
Sown the seeds throughout the year to get fruit or sales consistently throughout the year. And so I can't expect people to purchase out of the blue if I haven't worked consistently to plant those seeds. So basically, if I'm just going to harvest one field for just Christmas time, well, I'm going to have a great Christmas, but what about the rest of the year? So this is what he means by different stages of our business. We need to have, for instance, party bookings at all different times of the month, or different months. We need to have party bookings each month. Yes.
This will tie in a little bit to the next one.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
And the other thing too is having those different fields. It's also important to sell every product in our catalog. I mean, to just sell the wax and warmers, they're only going to be ready, like, let's say 3 months. It takes them 3 months to get through a 3-pack of bars. You're going to have to wait 3 months for them to be able to pick their fruit again. So in the meantime, there's other things that you could give them and sell them that could in turn help you pick more fruit throughout, or monthly, or bi-monthly, is that?
Or fortnightly.
Fortnightly, whatever. But what I'm talking about is like our laundry products, our wash whiffs and our laundry liquid, our cleaning products. All of these products are consumables, and possibly a household can go through it quite quickly compared to wax and warmers, or compared to, car circles, all these things. So if you're only selling wax and warmers, you're also not growing those other orchards in the other products range that we sell that could in turn help you in other months.
The other fields.
Other fields.
Within your orchard.
There you go. Thank you. That's why he's here.
So the third thing that we wanted to talk about is that farmers, so every farmer, when they plant their crop or crops, they are relying on patterns and a history of behavior, I guess you could say, within their crops and within the seasons and the weather, that when they plant something in a particular month, they know that a certain amount of time later that will yield fruit. So they know that it is hotter in a certain part of the year, that things grow best in certain climates, that different plants and different produce needs different nutrients and different kind of ways of keeping it growing and keeping it progressing through those phases to get to the point where you can harvest the fruit from it. So yeah.
So putting that back into our Scentsy business, sometimes we might have these natural disasters, or these weather patterns, or these things that we might not be prepared for. But if we do follow these patterns, that basically we have this business that we have had other people that have already gone out there and they farmed and they've learned about how to grow apples, let's say. So we, as these new orchard owners, don't actually have to go out there and find a pattern ourselves. We've got a pattern already out there that we can go and learn and know exactly what they do in those seasons of natural disasters or weather patterns. And sometimes it really is just a natural disaster and there's really nothing else that can happen. But if you have those other orchards growing, fields growing, you're going to have more of a chance to get out of that disaster.
To be able to trade through the disaster.
Thank you. There you go. Because you've put in that work and you have, if you only have one field, chances are that it will get wrecked. But if you have 20, 30 fields, you might only have 5 or 6. And it might be, your 5 or 6 really good fields, but that get ruined, but you'll be able to continue to just go over there, pull everything out and grow again and start again. Do you give up? No, you don't. Do you go and buy a new orchard?
and start from scratch again?
No, because you're probably going to have those same.
Because you've had months and years of groundwork in the orchard that you're already in, with the different fields that you're in, that you've got growing. Your crops are at different stages. Why would you go and start from scratch again? Is that the key to success? I don't think so.
No. It's to be consistent and persistent in what it is that you're doing. And, you know, talking to these other farmers around you, like your sponsors, your directors, your Scentsy sisters, Scentsy brothers, head office, and talking to them, okay, this is my weather pattern happening at the moment in my area. How can I overcome this? Have you gone through something similar? And then they're going to share with you experiences and ways to get through that. And your job as the farmer is to, one, educate yourself, and then two, to actually do it, actually put that into practice. Because it's great to educate yourselves, but like we were talking before, you can do all this education, but if you're not actually out there planting the seed, you don't actually have.
You don't even have a garden.
You don't have a garden at all. And so some places that you can go to learn these patterns is YouTube. YouTube's great. You can get, you know, amazing training on there. We were talking about how you can just put Scentsy how to book a party, or Scentsy basket party, or Scentsy Facebook party, whatever. You can just type it in there. You'll have like videos and videos of how to do those things and learn. So how does this all tie back in to our incentive trip period? Well, being able to understand that all these things happen within our business. So we have, you know, the low and high hanging fruits. We have the different types of fields at different stages of our business, and relying on the patterns of those farmers that have gone before us, which it really just helps us to be able to make a plan moving forward, and to allow us to realize that you don't actually have to go out there and reinvent the wheel and come up with your own incentive trip plan. You just have to physically go and do the things that are a part of your business, and you really have to get outside of your comfort zone, basically.
The other big key, and it would be true with farmers, is consistency. Consistently doing all of the small things, and constantly, obviously then they're watering things every day. They're out feeding things, they're out turning the soil, they're looking after the farm to get to the point where at the end of it all, they can harvest the fruit. They're not just planting the seed, then walking away and hoping to come back one day and get the fruit. They're constantly doing things all the way along the journey of the seed, from planting, even before it's planted, right through to harvesting, and then preparing the soil again to replant the seed. So the key is to be consistently looking at those things that we've talked about tonight, and accessing the full potential of all of your trees, and accessing all of your customers and all of your possible customers, consistently following up with them, making sure that everyone's got what they need.
I think too, specifically with this incentive trip period of time, this really is the time to book parties and to recruit and to sell. And so the only way this is going to happen is you really need to be honest with yourselves. If you haven't earned a trip before, that doesn't mean that you can't earn a trip now. This amazing director that I know, or she must be a superstar director that I know, I think she missed out on earning a trip for like 4 or 5 times before she started earning them. And each time she learned what she had to do to then better herself to be able to earn these trips. So what you really need to do is you need to, A, decide that you're going to earn this trip and make no excuses, none whatsoever. You're going to get outside of your comfort zone, whether you like it or not, because we're all cheering you on and we're all doing it with you. We're all, like, those that want to get this trip and will earn this trip will be people that get outside of their comfort zones. It's just part of it. You can't earn trips on your low-hanging fruit. You can't rely, it's unfair to rely on your friends and family to get you there. Can you use your friends and family to meet other people absolutely, to get to those high-hanging fruits, you sure can. But sit down and look at your business honestly and look at where you're struggling, whether it's booking, whether it's booking off of bookings, whether it's sales, whether it's follow-up, whether it's recruiting, whatever it is, pick 1 or 2 spots and really work on that this month. And ask us, PM us. We want to hear from you guys. If you want this and you want to grow a certain part of your business, send us a message, give us a call, email us. You can get our details on the workstation. Just click our names and it comes up. And you need to be willing to do the challenges and to show up and to participate. Participating in our team page isn't a silly thing. It brings momentum and energy and inspiration to someone. You find that those that are participating in not only the challenges and booking blitz and talking to each other are the ones that are actually finding momentum. And there's a reason for that, because they're feeding off of each other's energy. And so these are the things that you need to commit to try to earn this Scentsy trip, because this is the easiest one out of both of them. This is the easiest one to earn.
Yep.
That's all I've got.
So quick recap. Point 1, low-hanging versus high-hanging fruit. Make sure that you're accessing the full potential of your tree. Point 2, having multiple fields at different stages so that something is ready for harvest at different times.
Oh, can I share something? One of the things with point 2 that Chuck shared was he shared to have a note. Do you remember this one? He said to have a notepad and to constantly, so he talks about a list of 100. So this is where you make a list of 100 people that you know, but you're meant to be constantly working through that and then crossing people off. And then you have to continue to fill that list up. You have to continually have 100 people. And he even talked about how he would put IGA, blonde, we talk about kids' cookies or something. And then each time he goes to the IGA and talks to the blonde lady with the kids' cookies, he builds up on that relationship. And then in turn, they either become a customer, a host, or a recruit. Sorry, I just need to share that. That was a tip.
There you go. So then point 3 was relying on patterns and following patterns and trusting patterns, that as you follow other people's examples and patterns of behavior, that will yield results. Don't expect to plant your seeds one day and harvest tomorrow. Don't expect to start planting seeds on May the 1st and then hoping that May the 2nd it's all going to be done for you. It's not going to happen. Start now. Start laying the foundation. And that's it.
Yeah. So now we want you guys to share with us some things that you guys want to improve and what you need help with. And we'll work with you guys on that. So hope this helps. Bye.
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 Bye.